All right, welcome back to CI Proud Sideline Stories. My name is Kurt Pegler at the WMBD studios here, and we are joined by my friend Dave Snell, who's the longtime play-by-play voice of the Bradley Braves. Been doing it since 1979. This is year 47 that's going to start on November the 3rd. So you have a few stories, and you are putting them in a book form. You've been working on this for what now, 5 or 6 years?
6 years, because I can only write it in the summertime. Because once school starts, soccer, volleyball, basketball, but men and women, baseball, a wonderful cross-country team that we get to cover. And so it does not allow me to write much. But I do come in sometimes on the weekends, and of course the season hasn't started. When the basketball season it's all that. It's all preparation and whatever. But I have Stoll stories.
Yes.
There are some things that I will not talk about because I just won't. Well, there's the old coach. Worked with him for 25 years. He's not in the best of health, but he would be 99 years old on Christmas Eve. And fortunately, some of the things that Coach Stoll does with fun could have gotten me arrested.
Yeah.
Because during after 9/11, we went in New Orleans. This is just one story, and we stayed. We had to play Louisiana Lafayette. We stayed in New Orleans at some hotel, and they had the guest gifts there. They needle kits, little kits that you use with all kinds of for
Sure.
sewing and
Yeah.
stuff. And he's loading these in his briefcase. And I was busy checking out. So they're all in his briefcase, and we go to the airport. Now, this is right after 9/11. He stops at a kind of a novelty store and gets 2 hats with bells on. One is a Santa Claus hat, and the other one is a jester's hat. And he's going through ding, 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 and I go through, and all of a sudden he goes through and puts his bag through, and I said, "Excuse me, Santa, I need to see what's in your bag." And he opens it up, and there's about 25 or 30 of those little kits in there. And he says, "It looks like you have scissors in here." And well, they're the little bitty ones. "Oh, those aren't scissors." And I said, "Coach." He looks at me and he says, "Are you the head elf here?" And so, "Well, I was going to take these home and give them to people for a Christmas gift." And I said, "Just leave them." And so we went on through. So he tried to smuggle that for Christmas gifts to hand out to people.
Yeah. I'm sure that you could do about 7 chapters of your book just on Coach Stoll's stories. And obviously, I think of the Deion Jackson shot that you were there for in St. Louis. You've been to NCAA tournaments, but I got to imagine the 7 overtime game with Cincinnati. Is that at the top of the list? I mean, most of us have, in this business, if you work a triple overtime game or a quadruple, that's something. 7 overtimes you called?
There was a Syracuse game against Georgetown, I think, that went 6, but it did not go 7. And I had a sore throat that night and was drinking a lot of water. And the field house was packed. It was Cincinnati. And I really had to use the restroom at about the 5th overtime. And I told Chuck Bisher, I said, "Bish, getting down there and back up I may not make it before in between overtimes, and you're going to have to at least call the action for a little bit." "Well, I don't know what I'm going to hurry up." So I went down, and I came back, and I just made it in time because they were taking a commercial break. 7 overtimes, won by Cincinnati. A guy named Doug Schlomer hit a jump shot from the left wing, and this was before the three-point shot.
Right.
And they inbounded the ball and threw it the length of the court. There were 3 seconds left, and Kerry Cook, who used to be in the Detroit Tigers organization, took a jumper at the top of the key, and it hit the back of the rim and bounced off Otherwise, there would have been an eighth overtime. But Cincinnati won that game, and yes, that was something else.
Yeah, well, you've got some great stories. When that book comes out, folks, you're going to want to get that. All right, in our final couple of minutes here, you got to tell us about this new Bradley team that we're going to see here. They have their last exhibition game this week, and then they start on November the 3rd. Last year at this time, you were bringing back Darius Hannah, Duke Dean, all these minutes were coming back. That's not the case this year, right? The ebbs and flows of college basketball has this team young, correct?
Yes, like I think they're the second youngest team in the league in the Missouri Valley Conference. But the thing is, obviously Illinois State has so many players returning, just like Bradley did last year. But you see the guys there, and there's a jump shot, I think, that was made by Richardson from Manuel, who's going to be a great player in time. That's Jaquan Johnson, who is stronger than he was last year, and it's Corey Thomas there. You can't really tell, Kurt, because so many teams are starting over again with the portal. Even those that were pretty good last year have gone to other places. What I have noticed is they have a player that played last year against Bradley. He had 14 points in the game at Wright State, and his name is Alec Hubricks, with a plural. He can really shoot. He is an outstanding shooter. And there you see who hit the winning shot the other day in the game.
Yeah, scrimmage, right?
Demarion Birch. Number 21 that you see there in the picture is A.J. Smith, and he played at James Madison last year, and they went to the NCAA tournament. So they have so many new players. They have Birch. They have Meta, who is much improved. They have a 7'1" player from China, Kai Yu, and he is serviceable, and he will be the backup center. There's a player named Montana Wheeler, who is a point guard from Houston, Texas, and he can really shoot it. He's very, very quick. He's another one of those small point guards that Brian Wardle has recruited. So, and you have Matt Zobrist. They've had a good recruiting year. It's just going to take a while to gel. You're learning new plays. These guys have to be like a football team, because if they call a play, you got to know where it is and where you go and where 4 other people go beside you. And so practice has been a big learning experience, and I go to every practice because that's my beat and that's what I need to do to be better at bringing the games to folks. So I don't know where they're going to finish. I know where they were picked to finish, but I don't think that really means much because Murray's got all new players. Belmont's got a lot of new players.
Yeah.
So I think that's the way in college basketball now.
It is, yeah.
You have to reload.
All right, partner. We could do this for another couple of hours. I've just really enjoyed this, and we're going to have you back at some point when you've got some more time and tell a few more stories. But thanks for sharing everything. Good luck with this season. Good luck with the book. I know you've got a lot on your plate, but I'm sure your body tells you it's the middle of October. Basketball is on the way, right?
Yes.
You've been to this starting point before.
I have. When I broke my kneecap a couple years ago, it caused some issues, but I feel great. I'm very, very fortunate. I love the fans. I love all of the players that I have worked with and the coaches, and it's a special blessing. I have been very, very blessed with an ability that I just love. And working with people like you, Kurt, you're a first-class gentleman, and I really enjoy your success as well.
I appreciate that. Thanks for being with us here. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to have Dave Snell back at some point, folks, by the way. We're going to hear from Colton Underwood, the Washington High School and ISU grad, who's now an ISU football Hall of Famer, and we'll do that when CI Sideline Stories continues in a moment. Welcome back to our Sideline Stories podcast this week. My name is Kurt Pegler here at the WMBD studios. It was homecoming weekend at Illinois State on Saturday, and a big day for Washington High School grad and Illinois State University product Colton Underwood, who went into the Illinois State Athletics Hall of Fame as part of a ceremony at halftime of the football game. Many people know him as a football player. Lots of people know him as a reality TV star because of his role on the ABC TV show The Bachelor. We had an opportunity to catch up with Colton and get an update on what he's doing and hear his thoughts on going into the Hall of Fame. And about 2 minutes into our interview, the band started playing. This was after the game, so the last part of the interview, you're going to hear the Illinois State Marching Band in the background. But nonetheless, it was nice to catch up with Colton. And here's our conversation now with Colton Underwood.
Today was special. It was an absolute honor to be back here, one for homecoming, but then two, just to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. A dream come true. It's sort of weird because you don't really think, one day you're going to end up in the Hall of Fame. It's not like a goal or something you aim for, like winning a conference championship, but it just, I have to thank the coaches and my teammates.
When you think about your days at Illinois State, what do you think about?
Oh, I think just it's sort of like my happy place. I think, finding myself on the football field and having, the ability to continue to play after, but also just keep making, just connections and friendships and things that truly last a lifetime. Like Coach Nowinski and I are still good friends. Nate Palmer, Shelby Harris, all those guys, like they're family now.
You still see those guys?
Yeah. Nowinski spoke at my wedding, and I was just with Nate and Spence out in LA.
That's good. What was it like to come back and see people and hang here and be a part of this? Homecoming, Hall of Fame, it was a great weekend, huh?
Yeah, it's always great to come back and come back home, and the game has changed so much even since I've played in college, and to see the new indoor facility and just, all of the change, but yet still, SPAC has really kept this like a homegrown program, and that's something that, I took a lot of pride in when I was here, just being from Washington, that, I love that they're building this the right way.
Do you still follow the Redbirds?
Totally, yeah. It's cool to see, like I said, the talent that they get from Illinois, but then also just how they're doing a good job of keeping that talent here too.
That's good. You mentioned Washington.
Yep.
Did you ever think a guy from Washington, Illinois would get to the NFL and have a cup of coffee there and now be making, production stuff in Southern California?
No, I'm living a wild life right now, and it's been so much fun. And I always knew I wanted a big life, and I wanted to create an opportunity for me, whether it's through sports and entertainment and just finding new passions along the way. It's been a dream come true.
Did Washington prepare you, the Midwestern stuff, for what's going on now in your life?
I think it was a mix of coming from a small town and a mix of my family and just, just sort of the ability to remain true to myself and me at my core.
Yeah. All right. We know Colton Underwood as a former football player at Washington and at Illinois State, but there's a lot of people that know you from television now, right? You're stopped more for that.
It was a mix. I was in the parade today, and it was a mix between them knowing me either from my football days here or The Bachelor. So it was a fun mix of people sort of putting it all together.
That's good. What are you doing now?
Right now I'm doing a lot more TV producing and creating, but I am coming, I'm going to be out on season 4 of The Traders on Peacock next year. So a little bit of everything still, and I'm just sort of riding the wave that's come after football, and it's been a lot of fun.
You like the TV end of things?
It's been great. Yeah, it's given me the ability to, really connect and help people, not only in this country, but in the world. And I think like that is, for me, what I'm most proud about. I think growing up in a small town, you don't always see a lot of representation. So being able to have, some small part in the storytelling in LA feels like I'm doing, my job or doing a service to the communities that I belong to.
Do you miss football? Do you sometimes want to watch a game?
I miss aspects of football. There's definitely the locker room and the teammates and the camaraderie that comes with it. But football is one of those rare sports in life that parallels life to a T. The ups and the downs. I've experienced it in my career already. It's just, the start and stops. You get a new play every 10 seconds, and that's sort of the motto that I take into my life.
You still tell people you're from Central Illinois. You got to explain where you're from.
I have to correct people. They think I'm from Denver, but just because of The Bachelor. But a lot of people know that I'm from Illinois.
And you're proud of that.
Yeah, I'm always proud of my Midwest roots. I think like my family's still here, and I love the seasons here. You don't get those in LA. but it's really shaped me into who I am.
What should we look for next from Colton Underwood? What's on the horizon for us?
Oh gosh, right now, I'm a proud dad, and I'm focusing a lot on my family. And while I do have work and fun TV shows coming out, really just sort of looking inward and figuring out what's next for me personally.
And we thank Colton Underwood for taking a few minutes. We thank the ISU Marching Band for helping us finish out that interview. But Colton's now a Hall of Famer and doing some neat things in Southern California. So check your local listings the next time you're going to see him on television, although he's more of a producer now than he is in front of the camera. And we thank Dave Snell for joining us, too. That wraps up our edition of CIProud.com and WMBD Plus. Is where you're seeing us. That wraps up our edition of CI Sideline Stories, and that we're glad that you're with us. Again, every week we're here with a podcast, longer form interviews, and a chance for you to kind of meet our friends and our neighbors and those that are making headlines here in Central Illinois. That does it for this week. We'll see you next week on CI Sideline Stories.